All right, guys, got a piece of probably 3/8 plywood here, or 15-30 seconds, and it's just a scrap piece. But I've been looking, trying to get some work done. It's wet, so I need some boards to drive out over, and I'm just curious how this thin of a board would actually do in soft ground. So I'm looking for 3/4 probably is what I plan to buy, but this area of the yard here is pretty soft, so I mean you can drive a stick in it pretty easy. So we're going to drive the front of this truck out because it's got the most weight on it. Drive the front of this truck out here in the yard and see what happens. Let me get the camera set up, or the board set up, and the camera set up. So now I have a piece of 23/30 seconds OSB. I would definitely say that the OSB did not like that. So it pretty well split it, I would say. Isn't bad. Yeah. the swamp. Definitely leaving marks. Alright guys, I'm fairly pleased with that, truthfully. They're definitely, you can definitely see the difference of boards versus no boards. Again, this isn't crazy soft ground. This piece has got some twist to it, but you could definitely hear it cracking. But for an old ratty piece of 1/2 inch, I really don't think that's too bad. Or just under a 1/2 inch. Now, the OSB really didn't seem to like it. It cracked a lot, and this is 23-30 seconds. Which it's got some water damage at the bottom. It's kind of old and ratty itself. So I didn't really expect anything out of the OSB. I just had it laying around. So definitely wouldn't recommend it. Definitely recommend plywood. Alright guys, the ground wasn't as soft as I thought it was there. It's definitely wet. It is soft. You wouldn't want to make that trip too many times. I drove it out over the front because that's definitely the highest pound per square inch. Because you got roughly 12,000 pounds. 10 to 12,000 sitting on this front axle, and just 2 tires, probably 12 sitting on the rear with 4. So because it's a 33,000 GVW truck, it weighs right around 24-25 empty. I think it weighs 24 empty, and your boom weight is pretty evenly distributed too. You got it sitting in the front cradle over here, then you got the rear turntable sitting back there. So your highest load per square inch is definitely up here. It's going to be the hardest on the plywood. And then definitely it's starting to warm up. I've got a couple jobs scheduled already. I'm just trying to wait for the ground to dry up a little bit, but I think we're going to have rain tomorrow, so that's going to kind of mess me up. So I'm looking for some plywood mats or something to be able to drive this thing out on. Try and go ahead and start getting some work done. So plywood's gotten cheap. It's about $30 a sheet right now for 3/4, where it was I think $60 or $70 a sheet not long ago. So it's time to make a decision, plywood or plastic. I'd much rather have plastic, but I think that's probably $200 or $300 a sheet. So we'll have to see. I'll check on the prices of those and add that in the video. Hope you guys enjoy.